Imagine living hundreds of years ago. There was no electricity. There were no modern doctors. The cold air pierced your skin. And outside the rickety wooden houses, the darkness of the night was filled with sounds you could never explain. On certain nights, people in medieval European villages believed that the human world and the spirit world became very close, and anything could enter. In the next 60 minutes, we will delve into the darkest side of the Middle Ages: disease, sadistic punishments, dark rituals, legendary creatures, and the true stories that earned this era the nickname, the Dark Ages. Take a deep breath. Here we go. There was nothing romantic about medieval life. Most people lived in extreme poverty. In the morning, the stench from the streets greeted you. Human and animal waste was dumped in the open. Drinking water was often contaminated, and death was a common part of life. But what people feared most wasn't hunger, nor war, but things unseen: evil spirits, witches, sudden illness, and the night, which never felt truly dark, but rather filled with something watching from afar. In many villages, night was a time when people closed their doors tightly with wood and iron, because they believed something was lurking, something very old. Before humans wrote history, one, the Nachtgrab, the bird of death. In medieval Germany, parents warned children, "Don't go out at night, or Nachtgrab will eat you." Nachtgrab was described as a giant black bird with long, bony wings. It was said to descend silently from the sky, select a child walking alone, and carry them into the darkness never to be found again. Is this just a fairy tale? Or were there really many children mysteriously disappearing in the middle of the night in those days? Historical records show it to be true. 2. The Church Grimm, the dark guardian of the Church. In several northern European countries, there is a legend about a creature called the Church Grimm. It originates from a brutal ritual. When a new church is built, an animal, usually a black dog, is killed and buried beneath the foundation. This animal spirit is believed to guard the church, but at night it prowls around looking for sacrifices to appease its anger. Several 14th century priests wrote reports of the sound of heavy footsteps inside an empty church, doors opening from the inside, and a black dog seen on the church balcony, but lost when chased. Is it a real animal, or something darker? 3. The Strigoi, the resurrected ancestors. Before the word vampire became popular, Slavic peoples believed in Strigoi. These were corpses that had risen from unnatural deaths, murder, suicide, or curses. The bodies did not decompose. Their eyes were open, and every night he returned home, seeking his family, not to greet them, but to suck the life out of them. Records from the 12th century record the practice of digging up graves, finding incorrupt bodies, and then beheading them. Not just supernatural beings. Humans themselves were more terrifying. 1. The breaking wheel. The condemned person was placed on the ground, and their bones were broken one by one using a large wooden wheel. The process could last 10 hours. The sound of bones breaking, witnessed by the entire village. 2. Iron Maiden. Although not always used historically, medieval legends describe an iron coffin with nails embedded in it. The victim was sealed without dying instantly. Only the nails slowly penetrated. 3. The Scold's Bridle. An iron mask was placed on the head of a woman considered sharp-tongued. The inside contained an iron bar that pierced her tongue to prevent her from speaking. The sound of screams? Laughed at by society. In this era, humans became monsters. 1347 to 1352. The Black Death killed a third of Europe's population. People saw swollen, festering bodies, a foul stench filling the villages, people dying within hours. But what was most terrifying was the silence that followed. There were villages where entire populations were dead. Houses were open, dinner tables still laden with food, and there was no sound, except the wind. Some accounts describe terrifying stories. 1. Moving corpses. In the city of Toulon, several witnesses wrote of corpses moving shortly after death. We now know this was simply a reaction to bodily gases, but to them, it was evidence of a curse too. The plague doctors, with their bird-beak masks. Plague doctors looked like demonic creatures. Children who saw them believed them to be angels of death. 3. Exorcism rituals. Some towns burned live animals, struck giant bells, and marched around the village carrying torches to exorcise the spirits of disease. The world was transformed into a spectacle. Many medieval castles hold dark stories. 1. Chillingham Castle. Prison within the walls. The dungeon walls were found to be covered in human claw marks, fingernail prints, traces of blood, as if the people imprisoned there had tried to dig their way out with their bare hands. Modern visitors report the sound of a child crying, shadows walking in the hallways, rooms suddenly becoming icy cold. 2. Leek Castle. The Elemental. In Ireland, this castle is inhabited by a spirit called the Elemental. A terrible stench emerges before the creature is seen. Its body is small, hunched, and has a rotting face. This apparition has been recorded repeatedly since 1600. 3. Bran Castle. Linked to the legend of Vlad the Impaler, many Ottoman soldiers reported that the air around the castle felt alive and watching. Before the age of science, the world was filled with fear of magic, the witches' Sabbath. People believed that on certain nights, witches gathered, danced naked in the woods, worshipped horned creatures, prepared curses, sacrificed animals. Many elderly women who lived alone were immediately labeled witches simply because they looked different. One such woman was Agnes Bernauer, a Bavarian woman who was drowned because she was thought to have influenced a prince with love magic. The Middle Ages were a dark era, not only because of the supernatural creatures believed to inhabit the night, but because of humanity's fear of the unknown. In the dark and cold of ancient European nights, every sound felt like a whisper, every shadow seemed alive, and the world was completely consumed by fear. Thanks for listening to this 60-minute journey into the darkness of history. If you'd like a second part about medieval night rituals or torture devices, let me know in the comments. See you, and may your night be less dark than this one.